I went to work for the Rouse Company because of Jim Rouse, and he let us roll. He was all about ideas. He had a very, very linear company where everything was project oriented, and I teamed up with a guy named Roy Williams, and he was a old Harvard football player who basically could tackle any project. There were no roadblocks in Williams's book. And we got to work on the toughest projects the Rouse Company had. And we seemed to get through them without a lot of complications. We built the first big, most successful mall in 1970. We did the first food court from scratch. Jim Rouse never challenged us on it, let us roll. We did Faneuil Marketplace because the other development directors in the Rouse Company wanted nothing to do with it because there was no pattern, there was no template to kind of reproduce it. And we ended up working on projects that were new and unique. In Jim Rouse's book, his biography, it really came out that before we did anything, he wanted us to do the research. And that, I think that validated kind of just a core principle of human nature. Before you do something, go see it in its earliest stages. So we went to Europe, we went to Japan, we went to China, we went to South America. We saw markets that had been around for 2,000 years. We said these are the core epicenter of a community, and they're non-existent in the United States. We're building malls, but they're not markets. They're not. You don't have to buy a dress or a pair of shoes every day, but you got to eat 3 times a day. And when we did Faneuil Marketplace, we did a study for the Pike Place Market in Seattle. We went to all the markets we could get our hands on in a very short period of time. We got the food critic for the New York Times, Mimi Sheraton, kind of as one of our advisors. We hit New York hard, and it was really an opportunity to do the research, do the marketing, and solicit tenants all at the same time, which was, in the real estate business, kind of a backward way of doing it. So instead of designing a project and putting a for rent sign on a building and saying, here it is, take it or leave it, we enlisted all these potential tenants as partners and started from scratch. And the tenants we couldn't find or the uses we couldn't find, we found people that were passionate and that were startups or that were bakers or butchers or whatever, who were either employees or owned, one store, and these were our anchor tenants. I think the challenge in any small town, not just Chestertown, is that people don't want change. Whether change will bring about more jobs, less vacant storefronts, more activity, more real estate appreciation. People are just resistant to change, and I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think what we try to do is we try to fix bits and pieces of broken parts and to basically restore them to what they were 50 years ago. And to say if Chestertown could be as vibrant as it was in the 40s or in the 20s, it would be a very interesting case study. The same with Easton. You look at the old pictures of Easton when it was a really bustling town, and you say, why were there 50 vacant storefronts here 3 years ago? The dynamics of the chain development, the strip center development, the big box development on 50 and the bypass, all did their part to kind of restrict the potential or success of downtown. And our whole life has been to try to reset the balance of urban and suburban. And I think Chestertown is just fine. It just needs bits and pieces of it fixed and restored. And I think the grid has got to be protected. What worries me most about Chestertown is 213 and the access from the north and the south, and the plan that we should build a bypass around Chestertown, and the plan that 301 should be incorporated into downtown without rhyme or reason. Everybody thinks that it's broken. Chestertown's not broken, it just needs to be protected for the future. I think successful development in downtown Easton shouldn't change the character of the town. You should be able to come back here in 20 years and say, God, I remember this place, it looks just the same, it's just better. All the stores are vibrant. You know, there's a couple new things that have happened. They've fixed the parking, they fixed the problems, but they haven't created new problems. Now, when you start to build bypasses and you start to build through connections on Marlborough and you start to impact other pieces, then I think you can challenge that assumption. But the only thing that I think Easton is missing, and this is, if any town could have a wish list, and it's the great thing about Chestertown, it's got a great college. And Williamsburg has got a great college. And all these towns that we worked with that had colleges brought a different dimension of lifestyle that I think is really great. I mean, people that go back to Princeton want to live there. They went to school there, they want to retire there. People that went to school at University of Virginia, Charlottesville, they want to come back and live there. They want to retire there. They have a lot of friends there who never left. And I think that there are a lot of people in Chestertown that went to school there that just love it. They don't want to leave.